Today we're gonna talk about Vapi.ai tools. Everyone heard about Vapi. There are so many platforms that you can create voice AI agents to send calls or to create inbound assistants that answer the calls for you. Some are good, some are not very good. Custom build agents for specific use cases. So that's what I'm focused on. Agents for businesses for different tasks, including AI voice agents for answering phone calls and making phone calls for them. As an example, we use outbound call assistants to follow up on the submission forms from a website or for product inquiries or for inquiries for feedback for whatever the case is. As soon as they get in the database, AI process it, send the call, capture the information that needs to be captured, and then paste it in the database. And then from there, a team member will be informed that we got the answer or we got the information from the customer. Instead of asking your team to do all these calls, you can do it for AI can do it for you, including for late payments. That's the best. That's in high demand at the moment. Late payments, just send a call. Make sure people usually forget, and then instead of wasting your front of the house time stuff, you just get the agents to do the job for them, and then you create dynamic payments for whatever the sum is tailored for the person. Anyway, Vapi tools. We build the agents, but in order to make the agents good, you need to give them tools. If you don't give them tools, they're gonna be like a wet noodle. Now, the tools are the superpowers. Real-time data chase, system updates, smart home control. Not many people use it for that. There are a lot of mobile applications that do that. For now, that they integrated AI as well. Vapi is mainly for the web. It's good for e-commerce navigation and follow-ups and all this stuff. So basically, anything that has an API, you can connect your agent to. It's not just Vapi. It's any AI agent. You can connect it to any external tool that has an API. Now, customer support, using your front of the house for repetitive task or for tasks that takes time or take them from the venue is not ideal. So that's where AI comes in and does the follow-ups for you. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be outstanding, as long as it does the job. For example, you got this payment, you got this money, you got this availability, you got this product coming, and then so on. So a lot of people will be grateful that they are up to date without following up multiple times with you or trying to reach out to you, and then your phone line is busy or your stuff is busy or your stuff is rude or you name it. So we bypass all that hiccups. Now, personal shopper for e-commerce is just brilliant. You can use Vapi for your website, and then you can fetch the products and post the products and get the payments and play the payments and do the follow-ups from your website. It's that good. Now, appointment scheduling, it might sound easy, but it's not that easy as it sounds. So you can create your app, you send information and then retrieve information from there. The new trend now is you create an assistant and then you send all the information to the assistant. You give the tools to the assistant to handle all the specific use cases for your business. For example, for booking, you create like a complex booking system and then you send it to the agent. The agent will handle everything, including the follow-ups, including the confirmations and so on, informing your team and so on. Now, if you are just getting started, ideally is to create the basic, you create the foundation, and then use it and then improve it as you go. If you get too complex from the beginning, you're going to get stuck and then you're going to hate it and then you're going to go back to square zero. Now, to get started with the tools, the best way to do it is to go the dashboard, go navigate to tools, add a new tool, give a name, description, and then add the webhook from your app or from make.com. I recommend using make.com if you're just getting started. Even if you're not just getting started, even if you are advanced, Make.com just eliminates a lot of the different apps. They have very complex authentication system. Some of them it takes forever, and then it's just not working properly, and then the documentation is broken and so on. So it just Make.com just make it easier. Now you create your base tool, you start using it, and then you improve it. And now the big question a lot of people ask: do I need to know coding to actually get started with the voice AI assistants? No, you don't need to, but you need to understand the basics. You need to understand a JSON format like syntax. You need to understand how AI works prompting wise. It's not just you're gonna get a prompt from GPT and then you just paste it in there and expect to make bookings for you. It's not gonna work like that. Does he understand accents? Yes, he does understand me. So I assure you that will understand pretty much everyone. So I say 90% accents, yes. If they don't speak English, you have a multilingual assistant, it will understand. If they speak English and their language, it's probably going to be hard. So I'd say it's 90%. Yes, you can customize your voices. You can create your own voice. You can clone your voice. You can adjust the voices to be however you want. That's why I'm not going to waste your time making the calls and doing all this stuff, because everything is highly customizable and is based on preferences. So you go through and then you check it out. You do it however it fits you. If you are a customer, there is a lot of steps to go through. Like what do you want? You want female or male? You want accent? You want? How do you want the agent to talk? You want to be informal? You want to be a bit witty and funny? Depends on the use case. Depends what you use the agent for. A lot of people started using the agent for virtual assistants. Basically, just tell them, make a note, make a booking, make a this, remind me about this, it sends notification, and so on. So it's like a good assistant that it's always there. You just press a button and just tell them to do something and they will do it for you. Now, yes, if you have a business, you're just getting started, and then you are a large company, AI will help your business more than 100%. A lot of repetitive tasks can be automated. A lot of the phone calls can be automated. A lot of the inbound calls can be handled by AI assistants to eliminate the human error and after hours and so on. If you have any questions on how to use the tools, you're just getting started or you want to implement in your business, just hit me a message and I'll get back to you. Now, if you watch until now, I'll give you a few tips how to get started with the prompts, because the prompts, if you create the prompt, like I said, a lot of people just copy paste the prompts. If you just copy paste the prompt and then you want to use it in Make.com, it's not gonna work because it's not formatted properly. What are you gonna do? You need to set up everything in here. The dashboard is pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. You go through all these steps. You create the basic tools as I told you before, and I have another video that goes through the basic setup for beginners. I will link it in somewhere here or in the description. The prompt, how you format the prompt is like this. You just craft the prompt or get GPT to do it for you. Just be as detailed as possible when it comes to the steps, what he needs to do, how he needs to handle different situations, who are you, style you want them to talk, what tools you're gonna use, and so on. And then it will create you like a base prompt, and then you can adjust it. And then you go here on the left corner, and then you click on your account, and then you go on API key. You just copy the API key, and then you need to go in documentation. You need to go on this question mark in here. You press here. You go on documentation, you press documentation, hold shift and press on documentation or API documentation. It's gonna pop up a new window in there. What you're gonna do, you're gonna go in here, you're gonna go on get assistant, you're gonna paste the ID in here, so you get the assistant ID. Okay, so let's say we get this one, you get the assistant ID, you paste it in here, you add the API key in here, and then you send it, you get your assistant. Now you get it from here, you copy it, you put it in a JSON formatter or a JSON editor, and then you edit in there. It's already formatted. You just go, you can copy this and then go in the Postman, paste it in here. As you can see, it's already formatted. It's good. It fits in the JSON. It's a good string. And then you send the call, and then you adjust the prompt in here, so you don't have to go back and forth in make.com, or you can do it from the dashboard. You adjust it in there. You go in make.com, you paste it, you test it. If it's not working, you come here. It has a good error handling. You handle it, the errors in here. You change whatever you need to change, and then you go back in make.com and then paste it into your HTTP request, and then here you go. You get started. My recommendation, if you want to create tools for booking, or if you want to create like very complex tools, don't ask AI and then do all the steps, because the AI tends to overcomplicate things. So what you need to do is to create just the base structure, and then slowly add. So for the booking system, what you need to have is you need to have the webhook, and then you need to have the check the calendar, free and busy, and then the webhook response, and then you test it, and then you go from there. So okay, what do I need? I need the fallback. I need to check for the if the time is not available, what do I do? And if the booking is available, if the time slot is available, what do I do? And then so on. So then you add more and more and more steps, and that's pretty much it. That's my tip. Obviously, if you have any questions, you let me know. This is the basic Airtable CRM, where you get your leads. So every time someone goes onto your website, you get the information in here, and then what you do, this one check every 15 minutes, and then it sends a call. Now how we set this one up is it's a predefined time. So you check a time like one day ahead, and then you check a 30 minutes gap in between, and then get the time if it's available, or opening hours, or whatever. Depends what your business is and how you wanna get your clients. If it's just a meeting, or is a booking, or is whatever the case is, and then you predefine some times in here before you make the call, and set them as variable, or convert them, or whatever you need to do, and then send the call. So you have a head start when you call the customer and say, okay, I got your request, when do you want to meet? You will say, okay, I got your application, we got this available date and time, will that work for you, or whatever the case is. And then if they say, no, I'm busy on that day, then you will trigger the tools to actually do all that loops. So this will just simplify a little bit of things. Now here are the tool calling documentation, so you can go through this. I'm not gonna waste your time to go through all this. You can do it yourself. If you wanna learn, Herrick is pretty good. You can check out his content. Yanis, I think Janis Mo. He's very good as well. He's one of my favorite content creators for make.com and Vapi. Yanis, I give you thumbs up. Keep up the great work. Henrik, keep up the great work. Yeah, we covered how to fix your prompt. We covered the tool calling, how you do the tool calling. So just to make it clear, it's not that you copy paste the prompt and then you just name a tool and then it will do the job for you. You actually need to put a little bit of thought into what actually the tool is gonna do for you. So the better tools you give to your agent, the better what will do. The cost will go down. You're gonna spend less time on the phone, or the customers will be more happy if you actually do the accurate job. I'm not gonna waste your time to go through the phone calls. They'll take minutes of your time. I already done that too many times. A lot of people ask if you can do outbound calling and inbound calling. I need to cover this one as well. Yes, we can do inbound and outbound calling. So basically, this is the outbound calling. So here you get, this is just an example of CRM. This is what I'm using is Airtable. You can use HubSpot. You can use whatever you want to use. And then all the information, you create webhooks that actually will trigger when things are changing in here. So you can add the logic when to trigger it, by when the new lead is added, or when you change the status from like to do to in progress. Something is happen when in progress is changing, is to done, if something will happen, and so on. So it's a mix of automation and AI logic. So you have them in there, will do the calls for you. You set up an inbound assistant that will answer your calls, including capturing the information. If someone is calling you, you already have their numbers, so that's one step forward. That's, even if you don't get too much information from them, you will have their number, so you can save it in the call information. This is just for YouTube. So basically, you save all the information from the people who called you and create a nice dashboard. You can create dashboards like this. So basically, you can see how many phone calls you get, how much money you spend for the calls, how many answer, how many had good feedback, how many got bad feedback, and so on. So if you want a better overview of that, you can do it in here, or you can go in the call logs. The call logs is being updated and it's pretty good. And then you can see everything in here. You click on the call, you see the transcript analysis, messages, call cost, like everything in high detail. And then you can pull this information through API as well. So you get all this information, and then you store it, and then you do the monthly math, how much money you spend, how many minutes you talk. Anyway, I'm talking too much. I need to end this. Thank you for watching. Keep learning, and I'll see you next time.